All right. Thanks for joining us, Tristan. My name is Coach Roy. I work with Creed Cages and with a baseball team called USA Prime STX Creed. Right. Um, Today we've got you joining us, Tristan, Division One baseball player at Rutgers. Tristan, you started at North Greenville and then went to South Carolina, or South Carolina then North Greenville. Tell us a little
South
bit.
Carolina, then North Greenville. Yes, sir.
Okay. So you actually stopped by Creed Cages. I believe it was last summer. You were with your uncle, who's a high school coach in Poth, right?
Yes, sir.
Uh, so that's kind of how I met you. Kind of got a hold of you to do this for me. So how about you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know who you are, where you're from.
Yes, sir. So I'm a redshirt sophomore from Boone, North Carolina, small town up in the mountains. And starting out my freshman year, I was at South Carolina, like you said, transferred out to D2 school, North Greenville University. And now in my third year, I'm up in New Jersey at Rutgers University.
Awesome,
Sir.
awesome. So straight out of high school, you went to South Carolina. That's the SEC D1. Uh, when did you know you were on that track? How'd you
Yes,
know?
sir. So growing up for me, my family, both my parents went to the University of Tennessee for grad school. So growing up, it was always being surrounded by the SEC, and we would always go to football games. We've had season tickets, so I've always wanted to go to that level. Growing up around App State, the college in Boone, going to their camps all the time. It's just always been it was always on the front of my mind of like, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. And for me, I never really gave myself the option of like D1's not a possibility. In my head, it was, I'm going to succeed at this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. However it happens, I'm just going to keep working every day to get to where I want to be. And so throughout all the time and everything, stuff just kind of slowly started coming together throughout high school, getting into my recruiting process. And then eventually the doors started opening up and opportunities came up and I was able to perform in those moments and eventually get to where I am now.
Wow, cool story. You did mention recruiting. What was like that? What was that like for you? The recruiting process as a whole.
Yes, sir. So I kind of had a later start than a lot of my buddies. It was after my sophomore year of high school, throughout the summer, still never had any calls with any coaches, but it kind of heard through the vine that there were some schools looking at me and some people were wanting me, but never any like straight up conversations from any coaches. And then I ended up getting an invite to the Futures games down in Lake Point, and only reason I was able to get that invite was because there was another kid on the roster who committed to a school a day or two before the event. So I got a call saying, hey, like, we want you to come down. We want you to come be a part of this team. So for me, like, that was that goal I've been working towards. And I knew if I could make it there, then that was a really good sign for me. And I just needed to show up and perform. And getting there, like all the excitement, a bunch of the big name guys were there. And it was just a super fun spot for me to be at with all these college coaches around. It was the kind of environment I wanted to be in. And so got there, had a really good workout day, and then played really good in my couple of games. And after the first game, I think I was 2 for 3 with a home run and a double. And as soon as I was walking out of the complex, my phone just started going off nonstop. And from about 3 o'clock to 9 o'clock that night, it was just back to back to back. And it catches you off guard. It's really quick, but the biggest thing for me was just realizing, like, just slow it down and enjoy it, because it's a really fun thing that you only get to have like maybe once or twice when you're in high school, and you just got to make the most of it and enjoy every second of it.
Oh man. Uh, Tell us about what redshirting means.
Yes, sir. So for me, going into the preseason, we had a mid-year transfer come from another school, and there was some stuff going on with his head coach, so it was kind of up in the air about his eligibility for that year. So to start the year, I ended up gray shirting for my first month or two at South Carolina during the season, which me and him both were. And if his eligibility got accepted, then I would stay gray shirted, and he got denied. I got put back on the roster, which is what ended up happening. But the whole gray shirt is pretty much, you're not able to practice with the team or lift with the team, so it's kind of hard, but it was one of those times where I was grateful to have that, because it kind of flipped that extra switch in my mind to push myself that extra little bit and to have to find this time on my own to go out and work. And then once I got put back, the red shirt, I think redshirting for me was a really good experience, and I was really glad to have it. I was really young for my class at the time, and kid ahead of me is a fifth year from Vanderbilt. He's not College World Series champion, SEC champion, just a great kid. And being able to be behind him and learn from him day in and day out at the SEC level without having the stress of having to go out and play, I think it was really beneficial for me to kind of get a good understanding. And another part of that comes from home for me is a really small town where baseball is not the biggest sport. It's more football, basketball related. And so being able to learn a lot of those little things in that year and just have a full year of being able to just learn from these older guys who've had success and everything there, and then being able to apply it the next year, I just felt like I had that extra step ahead without burning a year of eligibility.
Yeah, man. Uh, it sounds like you learned a lot from that red shirt, gray shirt. Um, I have never even personally heard of the gray shirt term where you can't lift and practice with the team. So uh, to go through something like that is pretty cool to hear. You know how you responded so great to that. What went into your decision to transfer to Rutgers?
So ended up loved everything about my D2. It was great baseball, great competition, loved the coaches and everything, and really grateful to have that opportunity, especially after that redshirt year of not being able to have any numbers or credentials by my name. Like Coach Powell over there at North Greenville, like really took a chance with me, and I really appreciate that. And then the big reason for me was kind of just for draft looks and draft purposes. And main reason with that is at D2, it's, you don't get as many scouts at games necessarily. And as a hitter, you could have that 0 for 4 day, and then they come that one time, and then you're kind of scratched off. But there's more continued scout like eyes on you at the Power 4 level. And I think that one thing with that is the competition at D2 is just as good. Like day in, day out, like you're facing dogs on the mound. Everybody beside me that I was going into the games with day in and day out, like everyone there could compete at the Power 4 Division 1 level. And so for me, just being able to get around that and being able to get in front of the scouts' eyes more consistently was kind of my big deciding factor.
Okay. Uh, so obviously your goal is to get to the next level.
Yes, sir.
What would you say the biggest difference between playing in or watching, learning from the SEC guys and the Big Ten guys is? Is there a big difference in that?
I think overall it's pretty similar. Everywhere you go, baseball is baseball. You're going to find people, and I think the big thing is just kind of opportunity. Who grows early, who doesn't, and I think that's a big thing with SEC baseball is, especially as a freshman, there's not as much development going on right now, especially with the portal. And I feel like a lot of that is if you're going to be a freshman going to SEC school, you got to be ready to play. You got to be ready to go. Because at the same time, they can go into the portal and find some guy who's been at a mid-major for 2 years, pull him in, pay him a boatload of money, and he's ready to just go in there from day one, and he's going to be a 300 hitter. So knowing that as a freshman going in is something that you kind of have to just keep in the back of your mind, and it's not like you should shy away from that opportunity if you get it. But I've also been up here, like I've noticed a lot more development. A lot of our freshmen up here are getting in a lot of game action really early on in the season, which is really big. And kind of looking at the difference of that versus the SEC, it's been pretty surprising to me to see how many reps they're getting early.
Oh, yeah. You very rarely see it at the D1 level. You know, that's a lot of college baseball. You see very few freshmen.
Sure.
And I thought that was mainly due to the transfer portal, of course. But what would you say the biggest difference, or I mean, say that differently. What separates D1 ball players from the D2 ball players? Earlier you said there wasn't much of a difference, but certainly there is.
I think that kind of just goes back to that opportunity, just where you are, if you're in the right place at the right time. I feel like that makes a big difference. There was a lot of my buddies last year that could easily go to some D1 programs and play and be everyday starters. And I think it's also the factor of just if you have a place that you really love, you really enjoy being around that group of guys and playing for that school, like I think there's nothing wrong with staying there and wanting to play with them. And I just think overall it's more similar than people think. And it was a lot more similar than I imagined at first. Because going out playing D2, like every weekend you're going to see a guy who's 88, 91, a couple guys here and there are going to be 93, 95 plus. And it's pretty similar to what you see up here. And like as far as pitching goes, I think the only difference is a lot of these power forearms that you play, like they just have a little bit better off speed. a little bit better stuff, a little bit better command, and little things like that. But I think overall, it just comes down to opportunity. Who saw you win? Who saw you where? And a lot of stuff like that. If you grow early, if you grow late, and just a lot of little things like that.
So, when you talk about grow early, grow late, are you talking about like your strength training and conditioning aspect, or?
Yes, sir. Kind of talking about your frame and just how far along you are maturely. Because for me, my freshman year going into high school, I was, I think, around 5'8", 5'9", 155 pounds. And then through COVID, my dad bought me a little weight set and everything to have in the basement. And from there, like, just started hitting that every day, like, really enjoyed it. So, and also just growing, which that was just kind of happens. You don't have any control of that. But I ended up sophomore year, I think I grew to be one set of around 6'1", 200 pounds, sitting right around there. So was able to shoot up a lot there. And I think that a lot of that, because I'd always felt kind of small compared to a lot of kids I was competing against. And in high school, you're always looking at the PBR rankings in your state, kind of seeing where you fit in amongst everybody else. So I was always doing that, like day in, day out, tournament after tournament, just looking, okay, who's moving around, who's doing this, who's doing that. And I think the big thing for me, like just seeing them, was just how like some guys just they grow earlier, they're more physical earlier. But back to what you mentioned about like strength training and everything, I believe that's something that's like really important as a younger player for you to get used to and kind of understand your body and how you move and what works best for you. That way, when you do get bigger and more mature, like you're okay. This exercise set works better for me than this exercise set, so I'm going to do this more than this because this is what's going to help me grow into more of the player that I want to be. Yes, sir.
Good stuff. What about the mental side? Uh, how important is that at the college level?
Yes, sir. It's everything. I've always struggled with my mental side. It was always really weak for me. A lot, like through freshman year of South Carolina, like going through a lot of the stuff I did didn't help with that. But I've never been someone who could just kind of accept failure. Like an over 4 day always weighed on me very heavily, and it still does. And about midway through my season last year, I got connected. My girlfriend, she knows a mental coach named Mike Mabry, and he works with a lot of D1 lacrosse programs, everything like that. He's got his own brand, everything. So started working with him, and that kind of really opened my eyes to how important it was and how much the mental side does affect who you are and how you go about your business. So we had a phone call that was maybe an hour and a half long, and he just gave me kind of this laid out plan and a lot of different techniques to start trying. So I started implementing those, and even now, over a year later, I'm still doing each of those like every day before my game, at night, just all these little things to help get myself recentered and refocused. Because I think another part is like in high school, you're going out every day, you're having 3 or 4 hits, like you're just succeeding. And then that one time you have that 0 for game, it just feels like you failed. And I think just for me, being around college more and being around like really good players is seeing that, okay, like these 0 for games, they happen. Like you can't just avoid that. Like it's part of the game. It's a game of failure. If you succeed 3 out of the 10 times, you're really good. So if you have that 0 for 4 day, like that's going to suck. But then you go 3 for 3 the next day, like it's the best feeling in the world. But so just learning to kind of handle that and how you bounce back and respond to it. And it's not necessarily like a whole swing thing. Your swing can be perfect. It's just what's going on in between your ears. And you can just have yourself a little off every now and then. But the sooner you can get back on pace with that, the better you're going to be. And I kind of went through that early this season. We had a series down in Virginia Tech where I struggled. I think I was 1 for 8 on the weekend with 5 or 6 strikeouts. And then last week, the weekend after, kind of went in the cages hard with the coach, and we just kind of tried to hone stuff back in. And I think I left there 6 for 13 on that weekend. So it was just that complete flip. And it's just how quickly you can rebound from that and just get back to doing what you do.
Well, I did see that you hit 2 home runs this weekend, so you obviously have a pretty good mental game in between them ears right now.
Try to, yes, sir.
But that keeps rolling for you, man. Uh, you were here at Creed Cages, which I run for a couple baseball programs while you were visiting family. What do you remember about that visit?
I remember it was just me and my dad and uncle kind of hit, and my grandpa was there watching. And the thing that stuck out to me the most was just the kind of community of the kids there. Like everyone just seemed to really love the game. Everyone just loved being able to be around it, and kind of going back to the mental side, like that's one of the big things. Like at the end of the day, it's a game. Like we're all still kids. Like just go out there, enjoy the game. Like everyone starts playing baseball because they love the game. They think it's fun. Like there's no reason to ever put more pressure on yourself than just what the game is itself. Like just go out there and have fun. So seeing those guys just going there together and just having fun working together was something that was really stuck out to me, and it kind of reminded me of myself being younger. Me and some of my friends just going to the cages and messing around, having fun, and just enjoying the game because it's really important. And through college, it's a lot of the pressure does kind of build up on how you perform and everything. And it is fun, but at the same time, it's like it kind of turns into more and more of a job the further along you get. So just being able to remember that just getting to go out there and have fun is the most important thing because you never know when the last game you're ever going to play is.
Yeah. So if you had to give yourself some advice at 14 when you were 14 now, what would you tell yourself?
I would tell myself kind of what I've touched on about just because I was always that kid. If I had that 0 for 4 game, I'm crying in the car. Like dad's struggling to talk to me. It's just nothing can go right. Didn't want to like do anything fun for the rest of the day. Just wanted to go back to the hotel and be on my phone. But if I go back, I would just tell myself to just keep working. Like everything works out. Like if you just give 100% of what you have every day, just keep your head down. Just do what you can. Like stuff's gonna work out for you. Everything that's gonna happen that's supposed to happen will. And just again, just enjoy baseball. You started playing it because it was fun. Why take that away?
For sure. One of the biggest questions that most of my boys always ask when we go and talk in front of college coaches or to college coaches is how important are academics?
Yes, sir. Definitely very important. I think you're required to take 12 hours a semester of classes, or you're required to, yeah, pass 12 hours of classes. So usually we're in 5 classes a semester. That can be a mix of online and in person, and you're required to pass 12 of them if you're 15. So they're important. You have to stay on top of your stuff because college isn't easy. A lot of professors here and there can be hard. They can be mean, but it's just important to stay be able to communicate with the professors. Like they don't want you to fail. They don't want you to lose your eligibility. So you just have to be able to communicate with them. And if you just stay on top of your work throughout the semester, if you miss that one assignment, like there's a little bit more grace, but you just have to work at it hard. Same thing on the field. You can't skip reps with stuff in the classroom like you can't skip reps on the field. And you just got to get it done, get it over with, because once you're done with it early in the week, you just don't have to worry about it for the weekend, which is nice.
For sure, man. Uh, I know we talked about your goal about getting to the MLB, but what are your goals that you're chasing this season? Do you have a set standard that you want to hit?
Yes, sir. I think first and foremost is just to win with this team. Really love going out there every day with these guys, and Rutgers hasn't been to a regional since 2007, and I believe that our team right now, like we're super strong. We could easily be regional, super regional contenders. So going out there and being able to show everybody that that's who we are and what we can do, that's kind of the main goal is just make that regional and kind of being the underdog. It's just go out there and just shock everybody, that's the main goal. And for myself, more personally, hitting 350 plus and just it's kind of the big thing, 350 plus with double digit plus home runs maybe. But at the end of the day, it's all about winning. If I just go out there and want to win, my performance will be fine. If I help the team win, my performance will be where I want it to be.
Gotcha.
Sorry.
Hey, I got a couple of quick questions for you. If you were going to interview a current college player, like I just did with you today, who would it be?
I think I would really like to interview Parker Bird down at ECU. He being from North Carolina, like heard about his story, had lost his leg in a boating accident, and I've always been close with I've always kind of been mutually close with him. I know people he knows, and being able to go down there and play them the other week, he came up to the plate and got a AB, and me being out there at second base, like just made me really emotional. Kind of that feeling of sometimes, like mentioned earlier, like have fun with the game. Like you never know when it can be taken away from you in that way. So I would just really want to interview him because I think he's a really like powerful and inspiring dude. and I think that he's just a great guy for the game of baseball. And being able to just see him go out there and play was just amazing.
Great answer.
Yes, sir.
Who's your favorite baseball player? Is it a second baseman?
No, it's not. Favorite baseball player from when I was younger, Yasiel Puig.
Okay. Okay.
Just growing up, loved how energetic he was with the game. Loved he had a little bit of cockiness to him, and just everything about him like that. Just really liked him, and then he's the reason I started liking the Dodgers. So anytime someone asks my favorite team, I say Dodgers, and they think I'm a bandwagon. I get to just play the Yasiel Puig card, and it's all good. But yeah, I loved growing up watching him. Just super exciting guy to watch. Just really loved it.
My wife's a Dodgers fan. True bandwagon though. He's a true bandwagon. But what's your walk-up song this year?
My walk-up song this year is Napoleon by Suicide Boys.
I have no idea what that is, but
Yeah, my girlfriend gave it to me the day before we had to turn our walk-ups in, and I was a little bit hesitant at first, but we recently got a new sound system up here, and the bass on that song with our speakers is unreal. Makes the whole stadium vibrate. It's a really good song. I think it's one of the crowd favorites and team favorites, but can't give myself too much credit because she picked it.
heck yeah, man. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk with us today. It's really cool of you, especially mid-season, to take this time and talk to me, man. Where can people follow your journey? Keep up with what you're doing. I know it's Tristan Salinas _ right? On
Yes, sir.
Where else can I follow you?
Mostly just Instagram. That's where I do most of my stuff. Not a little bit here and there on Twitter. That's TJ Salinas 2023. But yeah, mostly just Instagram. It's kind of my main platform I like to use. Yes, sir.
Gotcha, man. Is there anything else that you want to tell us, the young kid that's gonna watch this?
I think it's just kind of summarizing everything. It's just enjoy every day with baseball. Like, it's a fun sport. Like, you're playing it because you love it. Just go out there, have fun with it day in and day out. Like, you're going to fail. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, you can still put that smile on your face. You can still just the next day come back, redeem yourself. Just enjoy the game. It's a fun game. You never know when your last time is going to be. So just go out there and love it. Enjoy every second of it. Don't take anything for granted.
Awesome. Hey,
Sir.
thanks so much, Tristan. Good luck the rest of the year, and thanks for coming and stopping by, man.
Yes, sir. Thank you for talking.
You have a good one.
Thank you.